I actually had a wrestle with a dude with a gun not long ago.
What?
Yeah. So we were having
this for Discovery again, dude.
No, this was just.
He's thinking they didn't pay me.
Me and my girl were having a picnic down at the lagoon at Playa del Rey.
Yeah.
And so we were just in there. We'd had 2 bottles of Moe. It was kind of like a special date day. Smashed 2 bottles of Moe, and all of a sudden, the homeless guys from the toilet block came running over. There was like 4 of them. They're like, get behind the rock. There's a guy with a gun. And so I put everyone behind the rock, and obviously I head towards the road where the guy with the gun is for some strange reason. There's a couple.
Did you have a gun?
I had nothing, nothing. And so there's a guy on the phone calling the police, and there's a couple talking about it, and they're pointing down the road. It's like, what's going on? So there's this guy down the end of the street in a white Prius. He was waving a gun around. He's got out of the car, and I'm watching him, and then he gets back in the car. And so I ask them, where does this road go? Because it's one way. And they say, it goes up around the block and comes out the other side, on the other side of these buildings. So I say, how can we get up there? And they say, yeah, you just cut through these buildings here. So I'm like, you on the phone, you come with me. You guys, you stay here. Cut through the building. There's people on the streets having balcony parties. And so I yell at them and I say, hey guys, there's a dude with a gun coming down the street. Everyone should go inside. So they all stay on their balconies. And,
I was gonna say, everyone listen?
No,
not in LA.
No one. And so
I get there like, dude, this guy with one arm's about to get shot. Get out of here.
And so
That's exactly
yeah. Quick, get your phones out, man.
Exactly.
That's the guy from Discovery Channel.
We're gonna see a shooting.
He's a shot, man.
This is great.
So the guy on the phone, I say, stay behind the cars, and the dude in the car has come up around the corner, his white Prius. He's just sitting at the end of the street doing nothing. So I'm watching him through the window, waiting to see if he moves, and he starts coming down the street. So I time it so I'm not in front of the car, but I'm in an awkward enough position that he has to stop if he doesn't want to hit me. And he stops, and I start going overtly friendly, yelling like I'm at a party, I'm a little drunk, like, hey, what's going on, man? And I walk around the back of the car, checking the windows to make sure no one else is in there, there's no other guns, and I come up on his window, and I just befriend, what's going on, what are you doing? I glance down, and he's sitting in his seat with his hand on a pistol like that. And so I ask him a question, he starts to answer, I jab down for the gun, and I grab his hand and his gun in the same grip. And he panics, he yells, he hits the accelerator, and my arm gets hit by the edge of the window and pulls it off the gun, and he just bolts. And that's the end of the story.
Let me ask you, why is that your instinct?
Like an Australian Captain America.
I know. Like,
I'm like, he's down there. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to head this way.
Here's what's funny, by the way. When you're walking down the street, when I first met you, you had the 3-piece suit and you looked like a Bond villain because he had the perfect.
Fuck yeah.
When he's walking down the street looking like Captain America, people are like, day saved.
I love that he's like, you get inside, you over here, and everyone's like, the fuck is he doing?
Eli Roth's a good friend of mine, and he keeps telling me he's going to put me in his movies as a bad guy, so I'm just waiting for give me a flamethrower arm or something. Some sort of Wolverine blade.
Did you call the cops, and then they picked up the gun?
The guy on the phone called the cops, and they pulled. I went back down and
what was that
continued
guy
the picnic
doing
with my girlfriend.
What the fuck was he doing? Just
what's your game plan? Like, what you're hoping just to take the gun and then what?
Yeah, and just if I can detain him, wait for the police, then do that. If not, at least drive him away. Because this is a family neighborhood. Jesus. It's quiet.
That's great down there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And so you can't just go driving around a neighborhood flashing a gun. That's bullshit.
Not on your watch.
Not after I've had 2 bottles of Moe.
What'd you say? God, I wish you lived in my neighborhood.
If there was any problems, I'm calling Paul.
Yeah.
I'm going to call Paul. He'll come over and fix it.
My friends think I'm stupid.
Yeah.
So I just went back down and continued the
And was that
picnic.
And that was when your first date with your girl? She's probably like, what the fuck?
Was she like, did Paul just leave me with these 4 homeless guys?
Yeah.
He just ran here. Hey, fellas, watch her.
Watch her. Yeah. You eat as much of the food you need to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know that
story.
2 bottles in, you're like, let's go fuck this guy with a gun up.
Yeah, that's probably more so than if I didn't have it.
Yeah.
It was like months into Corona. I was so bored. I needed some excitement.
You need some action.
Yeah.
How terrible it would have been if you went to go and just like shot you in your arm.
It would be.
And your girl's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
I really didn't think about that at all.
Pretty gangster, dude. Too bad you're not a cop. When I got off stage at the Laugh Factory, right away you go, bro, I figured out what you look like. I'm like, what? This is in front of a bunch of other comics. I'm like, what? You're like, you look like a Rottweiler who got his shit together.
Oh, you do, bro. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, dude.
Grab that mic, son.
You do. Look, bro, look.